Hi, I'm Jay and I've been obsessively designing switches.
Tinyhouse games.
Hello again and welcome to the Tinyhouse vlog. This week I want to tell you a little bit about the game EMF that we're making and to talk about some of the problems and some of the challenges that are coming over the next few weeks, so that as we get through those particular barriers I can show you what we've done and how we did it. And I'm going to look at a tiny little minutiae today of gaming because I think it's kind of fascinating and interesting, and I think for game devs it hopefully will be something where you go, yeah, I've done that. And for non-game devs or people who are looking to get into game making, which I highly recommend, it will give you some sense of how much ludicrous attention to detail goes into the thing that you distract yourself with on the train for 5 minutes. EMF is a puzzle game and it's set on a circuit board, an electrical circuit board. What makes the game interesting and gives it, I think, an interesting mechanic is that although the central character or the player object is an electron that moves around the grid, the player themselves has no direct control over that character. All they can really do is adjust the circuit causing the electron to move in different ways, and that makes for quite an interesting puzzle mechanic because you're one step removed on a maze. And the way that works is through the use of switches, obviously, which you close and open, and by closing and opening the switches you allow the electron to take one or more paths around the grid. So on the screen now you can see the first level of the game, and I've put this level on because it's really simple, and I don't want to spoil my game or give too much away at this point before we release, because there are other companies out there who could copy this game real fast, I'm sure. So all I'm going to show you is this first level, and as you can see, the battery at the bottom left is going to spit out an electron. That's going to happen, and then the electron is going to rebound off the switches on the level. And what I'm showing you here is the version that I sent out for alpha test. So you can see that the switch, when it's in this current position, the circuit line that runs through it is dark, and then when I switch the switch on like this, now you can see the circuit has become light, the switch has lit up more. And this is how the game has looked for about a year. But what we've discovered recently while playtesting with a German friend of mine was that he was having difficulty, certainly for the first few levels, in recognizing which of those states was which. So although we have a perfectly functioning game with pretty clear graphics, what was needed was a reworking of the design of the switch. Because there are a number of ways you can approach a problem like this. You can put a tutorial on, which is something we will be doing over the next few weeks. But more importantly, you can adjust what's known as the semiotics of the game. And the semiotics are the signposting. So for example, in Portal 2, you might enter a room and your exit might be way up high, a door very high up, which you're going to have to get to as part of the Portal 2 mechanic. Now, what will happen is that when Valve playtests their game, rather like we're doing on a much smaller scale, they'll say, people aren't spotting the exit, so they're stood there, they don't know what to do. Okay? And that is not fun. The type of I don't know what to do that a great puzzle game like Portal, or hopefully EMF, should provide you with is you should have a fair section where you work out what the puzzle is, and then another equally fair section where you try and solve it. And those are the two states that happen both in Portal and in EMF. You enter the room, you don't know what you have to do, so the first thing you do is work out what you've got to do. But that's only fun if it's fair and the semiotics are right. So what they would do in Portal 2 is they'd put a flashing light, quite bright, over the door to draw your eye to it, and they would darken the areas around the door so that as you quickly whip around with the mouse you spot that up high door. And so what I'm going to show you is what I've done with the EMF to make the switches and the semiotics of the switches. So this that you're looking at now is the new version of level 1, and you can see that the only thing I've changed here is the design of the switch, but as I click it on and off it becomes a lot clearer to the player, especially on a tablet or phone where they'll be literally tapping these buttons rather than using a mouse as I am here, hopefully how the switches work. And I wanted to show you that because I think that the attention to detail that goes into nearly every game that you're going to play, and certainly every good game you're going to play, it's very, very, very important, and it's part of the beauty of what we do and the perfectionism of what we do. And it's one of the reasons why I really enjoy making EMF, is because you get to refine. And this process to get from this switch to this switch, believe it or not, took more than a day, because on the way I made one that looked like this, and then I made some really terrible ones that I don't even have a copy of to show you anymore because we don't film 24 hours a day, obviously. And each time you work through that process, you're reading and adjusting the semiotics of the game. And that's a lot of what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of months, making the components animate. And when our animator comes in, you'll get to meet her on one of these vlogs. She's coming in for a few days to do some more animation with me, because there's so much of it. We're going to make a tutorial for this game, and it's going to be an interactive tutorial. And hopefully, over the next couple of months, we're going to turn our alpha version into a much more alive, almost ready for sale beta version. So it's a really exciting time to be watching these vlogs. But I am sure that I have talked far too much for one vlog, and given poor old Michael way too much to edit. So I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but hopefully I'll be able to show you the interactive tutorial, because that's the next thing on the list. Okay. Also, we're going to put some advertising in, because we know how you love advertising. Not on this vlog, that'll just have what you've got at the moment, but in the actual game. So the mechanics and how you make in-game advertising work, I'll try and explain that to you next week. Thank you for watching. See you in 2 weeks.